All right, so today I thought I would like to talk about intrusive thoughts or intrusive emotions. People that suffer from mental health issues are probably familiar with stuff like that, especially if you have ever had depression or severe anxiety. But I'm really talking about the kind of intrusive emotions that occur with drug withdrawal and with tapering. There is a dysphoric recall. That is, I believe, what it's called. This dysphoric recall is 100% caused by the neurochemical imbalances that are happening in the brain as the brain is trying to figure itself out without the presence of the drug. In my case, that drug would be methadone, right? As I understand it, when you're in a state of withdrawal, the brain's prefrontal cortex is in a weakened state. It's not working properly, and when your prefrontal cortex isn't working properly, that allows the limbic system to take over. And when the limbic system takes over, that's going to make these painful memories that push through feel even more heightened and more urgent. Our heightened amygdala activity basically is what causes this, and it makes it so that our emotional centers, like our fight, flight, and all of that stuff, become what is the driver of how our brain is operating. And that stuff goes into complete overdrive. Anyone that has ever experienced it, especially in a state of drug withdrawal, understands that when you're in that state, those memories, those painful memories that come up, or those negative thoughts that you might have about yourself, they are extremely raw. They are extremely raw. And if it's a memory from the past, it feels extremely present. It feels like it has just happened, and it feels like it's actually something that's happening right now, as opposed to something more distant. I find that is one of the more difficult aspects of methadone withdrawal. The physical stuff I can deal with. I've found ways to handle that stuff. Like we've talked about, the exercise, eating right, just staying healthy in general. And there's even some comfort meds that you can get to help you sleep, like Vistaril, or sometimes clonidine if you're having blood pressure issues. But those mental and emotional symptoms are much harder to handle. They're much more difficult to even put words to and describe. It feels like when you're sitting down with your doctor and trying to tell them that you're emotional. what they hear is that you need an antidepressant. No, I don't need an antidepressant. I need to be off of this medication because my brain needs to find some sort of balance, because when you're on the taper, your brain is in a constant search for homeostasis. It's literally every morning when you wake up, your brain is going, oh my gosh, what am I going to have to deal with today? What signals am I going to have to fire off to make this body function in the best way that it can? And it has to relearn that and refigure it out completely every day as your dose drops and as you're also having these stressful events that happen in your life. And for me, these intrusive thoughts, this dysphoric recall, is tragic. It isolates me even more. It's easy to get stuck in your head in that space with that thought and that memory, and just think about how terrible it was, whether it's a death that I couldn't prevent, whether it's a relationship that I destroyed, whether it's a dog that I had that died of cancer, that I wonder if she was lived a happy enough life. It's like any bad memory that you could possibly have is just so amplified, and it feels like it's all happening right now. My mother died almost 20 years ago, and I've dealt with that for the most part. But now that I'm on my methadone taper, all of this stuff keeps coming back up, and I will just find myself suddenly in tears thinking about how she died. Was she happy? Was she in pain? Did she know what was going on? Because I hadn't spoken to my mother or seen her in over a year. We had a poor relationship at that point. So I now am stuck constantly having these thoughts of what could I have done to make that better? What a tragedy her life was. What a tragedy her death was. I don't want to get into the details, but I'll just say that she also struggled with addiction, and she had alienated a lot of people at the time of her death. And I think about that a lot. And I think about her happiness, her pain, and I just get flooded with it as though it's my own. And then that exact same intensity will happen for an animal, for roadkill on the side of the road. I will want to break down in tears if I see a worm burnt up on the sidewalk. I mean, these are really intense emotions. And they all feel so urgent. That's the thing. That's the key word here, is that urgency, because that's what lets you know that it's coming from that limbic area, that it's fight or flight, that it's like all amygdala. And then you've got to realize from that point, if you can just have a moment of awareness, that this isn't real. This happened a long time ago, or this isn't, if it is happening now, hopefully it's not as big of a deal as I'm making it out to be. This is my body having a very strong fear reaction due to a taper from an extremely powerful and sedating drug. I mean, this is a drug that literally prevents you from having those kinds of emotions, right? That's not its purpose, but that's what it does. It blunts everything. So when you come off of it, everything feels like it's been turned up to 100, and you're looking around trying to, figure out how to shut down all of your senses. Like, there are still days most days, like, I've got to wear sunglasses all the time. Even the light bothers me. Noise bothers me. I wear my, noise cancellation headphones around my house and when I'm outside walking constantly, because anything that sort of shocks my system activates my panic drive, activates my fight or flight. And then all of a sudden, here I am feeling like the world's about to end and we're all gonna die in a fire because I've stepped on an ant walking down the sidewalk. How crazy is that? The methadone does not just hijack the body, it hijacks the brain. And that's why I don't want to be on it. When the doctors ask me again and again, Tracy, why, when you're doing so well, are you so determined to get off of this right now? Well, because I don't think I am doing well. And if this is what well looks like, I don't want it. I don't want to be surviving. I don't want to just be surviving, and that's what these people want me to do. That's what these people want us to do. And I get it. There's a precedent for it, for addicts just needing to sort of be given this way to survive, but maybe they're not ever fully going to, reach their full potential. But I know that I'm capable of thriving. I know I'm capable of thriving because I've done it before. And it may take some time, but judgment's not going to help that at all. Because, look, I'm at least going to be on this medication. If I'm able to keep dropping at the rate that I'm dropping, maybe I'll be off of it in January or February. But if I hit another wall, which we know happens, and I've got to take a little break for a month or two, then that's, gonna add some time. I've got to give myself the grace to go, this is what I'm doing with my life right now, and it's okay. You're not just sitting around doing nothing because you're not working a job right now, or because you're not raising a family or something. No, I've got plenty going on. I've got plenty going on. I've got plenty to do, and I'm doing it right now. And believe me, it takes my time and it takes my energy. And I'm just here to say that I think that's normal. I think that's normal for anybody going through what we as people on medication-assisted treatment go through when and if we decide to go off of the medication. I refuse to be told that I'm looking at a life of methadone treatment. And I hope that you guys can also refuse the same. Any of you that are watching this video that are on high doses, wondering how you're ever going to get off, going, I can't do it, I'm not going to do it. Yes, you are. You are going to do it. You're going to start by going down about 5 milligrams at a time, and you're going to do that maybe once a month. It's going to take a long time. And then once you get down to maybe 100 milligrams, start going down maybe 3 milligrams at a time. And do that. Go down 3 milligrams at a time every couple of weeks. And I'm telling you, this is slow. You could actually do it a lot faster. I say just don't ever drop more than 10% of your dose at a time and you'll be fine. Once you get low, you're going to hit some walls. I hit a wall around 80 milligrams. And a wall, for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, is when you hit a place in your taper where your body's like, okay, no more, you have to stop now. And you've got to sit and wait at that dose until your body figures out what's going on. And sometimes that can take months. I've hit a wall before that I had to sit at for 6 months. I've even hit walls where I had to go back up 5 milligrams and sit for a few months. But I hit a wall around 80. I hit a wall around 45. And I believe I also hit another wall around 30, but I pushed through that wall a lot faster than the other ones. Now, though, is the point where you don't drop more than 1 milligram at a time. And you don't do it every day. You do it once a week or once every 2 weeks. So this is what I'm saying. If you expect that you're going to be able to get off methadone quickly, no. And if you expect that you're going to be able to do it easily and pain-free, no. You can minimize it by going slow. And that's the best you can hope for. All right, I got to start my day. Until next time.